Lara and I design a women's wear line here in Chicago made up of all contemporary sustainable designs. Right now we're in my, I guess, kind of pattern room, my design room. I make all of my initial patterns from scratch, and then I also do a lot of hand looming. So the scarf and the dress that I'm wearing are all hand loomed here in Chicago. And as I was saying, I focus on sustainable fabrics. So that means I'm working with organic cotton, hemp, vegan silk. The hand looms are bamboo. I've also been doing some hand looms in organic cotton. Definitely one of my biggest inspirations when I was in school was this book. It's by Greg Lynn. He's a paper architect, and he has these theories of animation versus motion and all these ideas that buildings should reflect the body and bodies should reflect the building, which is very similar to what I'm doing, and this idea that my clothes are really active with the wearer, and the wearer becomes active with the clothes, so they can really decide what the function and the movement of the garment is going to be. And when I was in school, everything I used to do was super, super conceptual, but as I've been developing the line and realizing more and more what's sellable and what really works for a woman's garment and works for a woman's closet, I continue to incorporate those ideas from Greg Lynn and these theories of animation, but I also tend to just cut out pictures, as many pictures as possible. I actually look at Facebook a huge amount. Just kind of scroll through all my friends' pictures. These are the people that are buying my clothes, and it's really neat to see things translated where I'll recognize designers that my friends are wearing, or I'll recognize pieces from different seasons that their friends are wearing through these Facebook pictures, and it always really helps me decide how I'm going to take this pretty out there concept of movement and animation and architectural theory and bring that into something that has a little bit of a trend to it, that's very wearable, and that just makes somebody feel great about themselves. So the idea is to take something highly conceptual and more artistic to the everyday. 2005, when I first started, I would get in touch with stores and let them know that I was an organic company, and they would immediately hang up on me. The idea of being organic had no part in being contemporary or being stylish, and so it's been fun to kind of change that stigma and show that contemporary design can also be good for the environment. So I can show you some of the pieces that you'll see at Crave Party. So this is one of the pieces that will probably be at our event on December 9th, and this is all hand-loomed bamboo. This is all these stitches are done by hand, and then this is done in a loom. It's bamboo, so it's incredibly soft. It's a sustainable fiber in a few different ways. One, bamboo is a grass that grows unbelievably fast. But more importantly than that, actually, being a renewable resource is incredibly important. But the bamboo that I'm working with, there are two processes that can break down the plant, and I'm using the non-caustic process. It's using hydrogen peroxide instead of caustic acid to break down the actual fiber. We're also using low-impact dyes when creating the color. So whenever I'm working with fabrics, I try to go above and beyond in what the actual factors of sustainability are. Another thing for me is making sure that I am producing it in Chicago and that we are producing it by hand versus working with machine to do it. So another one of the pieces that you'll see, this is a soy with organic cotton jersey, and the collar of the cardigan and the belt are made with vegan silk, which silk actually is one of the most environmentally friendly fabrics you can work with because it uses the least amount of energy. But vegan silk takes it one more level in that there are no silkworms harmed in the process of making the silk. And then it's also mixed with the hemp, which is an incredibly sustainable fiber, and again, all low-impact dyed. And this is something that I really loved working on. It's all gathered through this process that I started working with when I was in school. I was doing a lot of things with this idea of movement and shape, and it speaks a lot to what I'm doing now with how things are worn and how things can be worn different ways, which I'll show you in a minute with another piece. But I was doing all these forms and structures that were using a plastic boning, and for this I've taken that same kind of process but used elastic, and just creates a really fun shape. So another thing about my garments is on the rack they become more, well, they look better on the body than they do on the hanger. How about that? Although something like that I guess is pretty cute on the hanger. Oh. As far as things that can be worn different ways, that's kind of what I'm most known for, this idea of flipping something upside down. So you can have a dress, and then if you go into the neckline, it'll flip upside down into a shirt. So, granted, this might not look the best at what I'm wearing, but I get the idea. So I'm going into the neckline, flipped it upside down, and now, with my belt. Now it's short, but then if I go the opposite direction, flip it upside down again. Ooh, it's staticky. Now I have a dress. So you can play around, you know, with the collar and do different things. This whole idea of having a very versatile garment. Versatile? Reversible sometimes, but versatile garment. An idea of having a versatile garment. This garment also is made out of flax, essentially a linen, and cotton. We worked really hard to get this to be made out of organic cotton, but unfortunately the mill we were working with at the very last minute had to use conventional. So luckily there still is a flax, and it is low impact dyed, but that just goes to show some of the challenges that you face working as a sustainable designer. Thank you so much for coming to visit my studio. I really appreciate you taking a look at the line and getting to know a little bit more about me. Please come visit us. We'll be at the Crave party at the Cultural Center on December 9th, and I'm looking forward to meeting you there. Thanks so much.